election coverage in Kerala and Karnataka, I am now traveling in Andhra Pradesh and we'll be bringing you a lot of stories from here. Our first story is about the capital city of Andhra Pradesh. And joining me is my colleague Anjana Meenakshi. Anjana, if I were to ask you, what is the capital of Andhra Pradesh, what would you say?
Would be hard to give a clear answer because it's changed so many times. It was supposed to be Amaravati when the TDP was in power. Then Jagan came into power and the chief minister said that it would be 3 capitals. And now finally, just 2 months ago, he said it will be Vishakhapatnam. So we don't know anymore and it's a question which Andhra people really don't like answering.
So that's really a big problem in Amaravati, which is going to be its capital city. Will the elections finally bring an answer? So in this episode, we'll try to unravel for you the Amaravati tangle. Chandrababu Naidu became the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh in 2014, and in September that year, he announced that a new capital would come up for the state. The capital was planned in the VGMT area. It was supposed to come up on thousands of square kilometers. The VGMT area means Vijayawada, Guntur, Mangalgiri, and Tullur. Naidu's vision was to build a capital like Singapore.
After I took oath, first time I came to Singapore. The reason is I know the efficiency of Singapore, integrity of Singapore. I'm a friend to Singapore from the beginning. I love Singapore. I want to have good business with Singapore, then only my state will develop.
So, Andhra, tell us, what was the Amaravati plan? How much land was this supposed to come on?
33,000 acres of land
Mm-hmm.
was the original design, yeah.
And from how many villages and which districts?
From 29 villages overall, across like 3 adjoining districts mainly along the banks of Krishna River. That was the plan.
And when Naidu was in power, how much was constructed in Amaravati?
Like a few buildings did come up. The High Court came up, quarters came up for the judges, the Secretariat was set up. And now, for the most part, it's just barren buildings. Not much can be seen or done of them.
Famous British architect Norman Foster was given the job to design Amaravati.
On the banks of the River Krishna, in the new state of Andhra Pradesh, a new future is born. Amaravati, the people's capital.
A part of the design got flack as people thought it looked like an idli maker. Then director S.S. Rajamouli was brought in. The now Bahubali fame filmmaker was supposed to interpret Naidu's vision to Foster. So what you see as you enter the built-up region of the Amaravati capital are really buildings like these which lay abandoned. They were supposed to be residential quarters for judges, judicial officers, bureaucrats, other officers working in the Amaravati region, but all of them lie abandoned here. This whole place gives a very eerie feeling. It's almost like a ghost town. So once Naidu decided where the capital region would be, what he also announced is something called land pooling. Now, normally when the government decides to do a project, it has to get approval from at least 70% of the farmers who are impacted by the project. Land pooling was criticized as a method to really circumvent it because in land pooling, the government would sign individual agreements with each farmer. So Anjana is going to tell us what the individual agreements were all about. Anjana?
Land pooling was, there are too many details, but basically I'll tell you this. For every acre of land a farmer gives up, they got back in return a commercial plot and a residential plot. Now, the rates and the sizes, all of that varied for how many acres each person had and how.
So there is no
etc.
money involved at all. A farmer gets land,
No.
commercial and residential plots in exchange for agricultural land.
Yes, as far as the land is concerned, that's what's happening. But the second part is as crop compensation, because this is agricultural land they were giving up. Wetlands got 50,000 rupees, and dry lands for giving up you got rupees 30,000. So that was the cash involvement there.
And there's a 10% increment also every year.
There's a 10%.
So Jagan Mohan Reddy said no to the capital, stopped all work, but he has been paying these farmers 50,000 rupees annually and 30,000 rupees.
For compensation, yes.
But they did have to go to courts.
They
quite
had
a
to
bit.
go to the courts.
So farmers suffered quite a bit, and it is to these farmers that we'll go now to understand how they feel about this election and how they're seeing their future.
For 1,596 days, farmers in Amaravati have been protesting for the construction of the capital.
మేము పొలం ఇచ్చాం, మాకు ప్లాట్లు ఇచ్చారు. ఆ ప్లాట్లు ఎక్కడ ఉందో కూడా తెలియట్లే ఇప్పుడు మాకు. ఏమైపోతామని కూడా తెలియట్లా.
ఈ ప్రభుత్వం వచ్చి మమ్మల్ని మట్టి కరిపించి రోడ్లు పాలు చేసింది. మా మహిళల్ని, మమ్మల్ని, రైతులు మొత్తాన్ని రాజధాని కడతానని ఏడ్చాడు ఈ ఇప్పుడున్న ముఖ్యమంత్రి. రాజధాని కట్టకుండా మూడు ముక్కలు ఆటాడాడు. ఆ మూడు ముక్కలు ఆటకు మేము రోడ్డును పడ్డాము. మా భూములు అయితే ఇచ్చాం, స్వార్థం లేకుండా నిస్వార్థంగా ఇచ్చాం. మేము ఇక్కడ రాజధాని పెట్టమని ఏ నాయకుడిని అడగల, ఏ ముఖ్యమంత్రిని అడగల, ఏ ప్రధానమంత్రిని అడగల.
ఈ ప్రభుత్వం గురించి కోరుకునేదే ఉంది. ఈయన టైం అయిపోయిందండి. ఈయన 3 రాజధానులు అసలు అమరావతి రాజధాని ప్రకటించినప్పుడు నాకు ఇష్టమేను, ఇక్కడ పెడతాం మంచిదేను అది అని చెప్పుకొచ్చాడు.
నిన్న కూడా గుండాగి పరిలో ఒక ఆయన చనిపోయాడు. అట్టా 270 మంది గుండాగి చనిపోయారు. ఇవన్నీ ప్రభుత్వ మరణాలే.
మమ్మల్ని నానా రకంగా హింస పెట్టాడు. ఇప్పుడు 15 చిల్లర రోజుల్లో ఇక్కడే కూర్చున్నాము. మా మీద 4,000 కేసులు పెట్టారు. ఎవరి మీద అన్నా కానీ రైతాంగం మీద. రోజు కోర్టు చుట్టూ తిరగాలి ప్రతి ఒక్కళ్ళు. ఇంకా ఆయన ఏం కోరుకుంటాం మనం?
కొత్త ప్రభుత్వం వస్తే మా భవిష్యత్తు బాగుంటుందని కోరుకుంటున్నాం.
ఎందుకంటే కొత్త ప్రభుత్వం అనేది టీడీపీ వస్తుంది
అనుకుంటున్నాం. అప్పుడు బాగానే ఉంది టీడీపీ ఉన్నప్పుడు. ఈ ప్రభుత్వం వచ్చి మమ్మల్ని ఇచ్చేసి పారేశాడు, కంప పెంచేశాడు మా పొలంలో.
30,000 farmers, they are left in lurch. 30,000 farmers and equal number of farm laborers, and if not equal number, thousands of people who are tenant farmers. All these people are left in lurch. Together everything will be, I think the number that is said to be around 2-3 lakhs people. The government owes to them first. Whether the state has a capital, all this, they can be sorted, identity and all
But
that.
if Amaravati is back on track, do some of their problems get solved?
They will get solved if it is back on track to some extent. We cannot say to the large extent or to the great extent, but to some extent the problems will get solved. The plan of the farmers is like once the Amaravati is constructed, their values, the land value will rise, and also for their children, they might probably get jobs here itself.
It isn't just the farmers. What happens through the capital is a problem for everyone in the state, and everybody has an opinion about it.
అది ఎక్కడో 3 రాజధానులు అంటే అసలు అది ఎవరికి కావాలి? మాకు రాజధాని అనేది ఇక్కడికే కావాలి మాకు.
Before pulling the land and start the constructions there, if they will go to the Vizag also, it's fine. Now my perspective is they spend some money. They pulling land also from the farmers. It is almost 50% the development is happened. The buildings are constructed, everything is done. Now all of a sudden they change. It is a ప్రజల అమౌంట్ ఇదంతా వేస్ట్ చేయకూడదు కదా.
3 చాపుడు విశాఖపట్నం అన్నారు, విజయవాడ అమరావతి అన్నారు, వేలన్ గుడ్డు ఇదేదో అన్నారు, కర్నూలు అన్నారు. చాలు 3.
ఈ 3 అంటే మీరు
కరెక్ట్. నాకు ఉద్దేశం కరెక్ట్. ఎక్కడోళ్ళు అక్కడే డెవలప్ అవుతారు కదా.
మీరు రాజధాని ఎక్కడ కావాలనుకుంటున్నారు?
ఇక్కడే కావాలండి మాకు. అమరావతి రాజధాని అది.
So we have finished our time on Amaravati, speaking to farmers, leaders and activists. We're just going to sum it up for our viewers. I think one aspect we did not talk about much is that there was also an allegation that there's a caste angle to this. Would you agree that a lot of people who were farmers here were from the Kamma caste, which is a caste which Naidu belongs to, and therefore they were the ones benefiting from this?
Not completely, because a lot of the farmers, all of them, the land was pulled from 29 villages. Not all of them were Kammas. It would not be feasible for all of them to be Kammas. That being said, where maybe the YSRCP's angle holds a little bit of value in the caste sense is the fact that everybody who could possibly benefit from the seed capital area could be Kammas. But farmers were varied. There were a lot of farmers from the SC/ST community. A lot of them were tenant farmers, small land holding farmers. So that argument doesn't work.
And because you use the word benefit, the last thing is there are also legal cases, right?
Yes.
What are the 2 legal cases on Amaravati?
There are 2 main legal cases vis-a-vis Amaravati, and Mr. Naidu is an accused in both. One is the Inner Ring Road case, and the second is the assigned land case. The Inner Ring Road deals with land appreciation, which is the APCID's allegation that they ensured that select beneficiaries like Mr. Naidu, the then Municipal Administration Minister, Mr. Narayana, and the Lingam Neni group of industrialists, they would benefit.
That they basically bought lands in or adjacent to Amaravati as soon as the capital was announced.
Right before the capital was announced, so that the value of their lands could go up.
But Nara Lokesh contested, saying that these were bought after the capital was announced. Anyway, what is the next case about?
Assigned lands case deals mainly with land pooling, right? So how their land pooling, which is another thing which a lot of activists, ex-bureaucrats we spoke to argued, is that land pooling is done primarily, and they're not wrong, it's done primarily for smaller parcels of land. So if you're developing a slum, if you're extending a capital a little more in bits and pieces.
But this was done for a really large project.
This is a very unique project. This hasn't happened before.
So Amaravati really is at the heart of Andhra elections. Thank you very much for watching this coverage brought to you by me, Anjana and Bhuvan. Next, we'll tell you about Pawan Kalyan. And remember, News Laundry and the News Minute are covering these elections completely ad-free. You do not have to watch those irritating ads in between. That's because we are putting our trust in you, that you will pay for our journalism, you'll support our journalism. So do subscribe to the News Minute and News Laundry and keep watching.
This election season, your right to choose puts you at the heart of it again.
We'd like to be your eyes and ears.
Choose the journalism and media that serves democracy and you.
Simply head on to newslaundry.com/subscription and pick up the TNM NL joint subscription of your choice today.